If you are struggling to figure out your message and get clear on what it is you do and who you serve, this is the video for you because we're gonna help you get clear on your message, so stay tuned. Hey, Stacey Tuschl here from She's Building Her Empire, and this is a 4-part video series all about marketing your brand, and this is part 1 talking about how to get clear on your messaging. Step number 1, what makes you different? When I came into the online space, I looked at everybody's websites and their logos and what they were wearing, what they were doing, and I tried to basically mimic it. And I wasn't actually asking myself, what makes me different, right? I would say, hi, I'm Stacey Tuschl, I'm an author, podcaster, speaker, and it was just boring, right? You've got to decide what makes you different, what separates you. So one of the things that took me a little bit too long to realize was being you is what's going to make you different. So I never talked about having 2 dance studios, and I never talked about having kids or being married. And when I randomly said something about one of those things, somebody would say, I love that you have a real business besides your coaching business, or I love that you're a mom and you have your own business, or I love that you're married and you can have this work-life balance. So it's just funny how we hide these things that we don't think are important. But your audience wants to hear this. Your tribe wants to know more about you. And I never would tell people I'm from Wisconsin. And then people would say, I love that you're from the Midwest. You're not somebody from LA or New York where everybody feels like they have to be from. So people were relating to me because of where I lived, right? So make sure you look at yourself and figure out, maybe it feels really simple and normal to you, but it's going to be what resonates with your audience. Step number 2, how does your story relate to your customer? Now, I read this really great book by Donald Miller called The Story Brand. You're definitely going to want to check it out, but I'm going to fill you in here. He talks about your story is about your customer, not you, which might sound really confusing, so let me walk you through it. Now, your story, yes, your story, there's going to be bits and pieces of it that your audience resonates with. We need to pull those pieces out. So you might be 20 years old or 60 years old. Your story might be very, very long. We've got to figure out what are the pieces we need to pull out and make sure we share, because there are bits and pieces in there that people are going to fall in love with you and say, she's just like me, right? So one time I was on a webinar and I randomly brought up something, how I was really nervous to start my online business, and I didn't tell anybody, not even my husband, what I was going to do. And the amount of people that jumped on and said, me too, I still haven't told my husband, or I'm still nervous to share with my friends. Like little things like that really make people say, okay, I'm connecting with her. She's just like me. Step number 3 is create your subtopics. So what I mean by that is, figure out 3 to 5 things you are super passionate about, things that you want to share, that you want to teach, and make sure that every time you are sharing your story, there's little pieces that go inside of those subtopics. So for instance, if you're really passionate about your family or you're spiritual or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you bring out those stories so again, your audience can connect with you faster. One example for me is I'm a mom, and because of that, a lot of people want to know how I handle work-life balance. There's always a struggle there, and I want to make sure that I don't just show me always working on my computer, but yes, sometimes you see the kids climbing all over me or they'll bust in on a Facebook Live. It happens because I am a working mom and I want other people to see that that's okay. All right, so those are the 3 steps to creating your messaging and getting clear. And the most important thing you have to remember is what makes you different, what makes you stand out. To help you with that, I created a free download. Just click the link below and make sure you fill it out so we can figure out what makes you stand out and separate from your competitor. So click the link, get it now, and I will see you next week with another video.